Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day that we vote on our contract to accept it or not, and on our strike to strike or not. For those of you who don't know, we will be voting at Hartman Arena. Hartman Arena, to get there, you travel north on 135 just past Park City to exit 16 for 77th Street. You'll turn left at the exit, just over the highway. You'll turn right, headed back north on Hartman Drive Arena. You should see the arena there. Be easy to get to. You can't miss it. Vote how you see fit on the contract. But on the strike vote, please vote yes, no matter what you vote on the contract. If you vote to accept the contract, voting yes on the strike vote doesn't take anything away from that. It doesn't take anything away from your voice or your say. All it does is guarantee that we have the right and the ability to fight for a better, more fair and competitive contract if we do end up turning down this one, which I think we should. I will tell you I am voting no on the contract and yes to strike. I will say that, and for some reason our union leadership won't. But I won't go into too deep of a detail on that. There's a few points I want to cover on the contract. I want to make sure you understand, because there's some things I've heard that are a little bit off in that, but I want to make sure you guys understand a few things. I can't go over everything. I don't have that much time, but I can go over a few of the points. First is the COLA. I put a video out the other day about the COLA and why that system is rigged to not give you good COLA increases. I showed you the numbers for the years that have passed just so you could kind of see what it would have been, because we don't know what the numbers are going to be in the future. The thing to remember is you will not get that 2.5%. There might be a year or two where you do or get close to it, but as a rule of thumb, you will not. You'll get 6 cents, 12 cents, barely anything. But then every now and then, when that graph has a major correction, jumps up like it has just the past couple years, and you would get a decent raise, they cap you at 2.5%. It is not 2.5%. It's almost fraudulent for them to claim that it's 2.5% in that sheet that they initially sent out. That was a bold-faced lie, that whole sheet. That was just designed to sell it to you, and I am extremely disappointed in our union leadership that they allowed that to go out on their app from them. I don't agree with that, and I don't think it was right. In addition to that, the insurance. The insurance is a huge issue, but let me be clear. When we said the pin that came out, the saying, "Take the core, we're out the door," they heard that. They knew that if they took the core plan, we would strike. Well, guess what? They took the core plan away. Now, I know what you're thinking, but no, it's there. It shows it. It says that the core plan is still there. It's not. There's an insurance plan called the core plan on that offer. But it is not the core plan that was fought for by the people who came before us, some of whom are still here. That's not the same core plan. That's just a new insurance plan, and they said, hey, we'll call it the core. And these guys are too stupid to know it or recognize it. They'll just accept it, and they'll just eat it up because they think they're keeping the core plan. They think you're that stupid. In addition to that, they won't even put in the summary description of the insurance plan until after the vote. And somehow our union leadership thinks that's acceptable. They are asking us to vote on a contract, and they say, oh, just trust us. The changes aren't that big. They'll only affect like 3% of people. So yeah, just go ahead and vote this contract in, and then we'll put the summary description of the plan in afterwards. No, that is not how this works. If we sign that contract, we will sign it as it is, the offer as it is, with no summary description, meaning that Either we're letting them add to a contract after we sign it, or they will not be tied to whatever summary description they come up with. And next year, maybe they decide that they want to double the copays again, or double the out-of-pocket maximums, or the deductibles. If we sign this in without that description, it frees them up to do whatever they want. Anything. They will not be tied to the description that they're saying they're going to put in there. There is zero reason to keep that description out of the contract unless it is fully their intent to change it whenever they feel like it. Remember that. If you could trust them, we wouldn't need a contract. But we do, so we don't trust them. Commingling and the alternate work week shifts. They took away the ability for the shop to vote. And yes, I know that some shops that even didn't vote it in were still ended up being forced to it. But they took away, not only are they saying that they don't care what you have to say about it, but they won't give you, there's no provisions to give you an option to move shops to keep your shift schedule. So if you are on a specific shift and that's what works for your family, and they just decide, nope, I want to do it this way, they don't care about your family or you or your ability to care for them or be there for them or what works for you. They do not care one bit, because they will move you with as little warning as possible, and they will not give you the option or work with you to stay on your shift, on your preferred shift. In addition to that, they have what we're calling commingling. Means employees of different shift or alternate work week shifts working together and around each other, and that just creates messes, it creates issues, it creates havoc. It's not good. There's managers that did it for so long in the old contract when they weren't supposed to, but now we're just going to let them do that. That I don't find that to be acceptable personally. Another big one, overtime. They tried to sell us with this idea that, Sunday is 100% voluntary. You cannot be mandated to work Sunday. While that comes off as a positive, you have to consider the first communication we got from the contract negotiating committee said that they wanted free rein to run their company as they see fit, including no restrictions on the overtime. So the fact that they're selling you on this Sunday means that they fully intend to make Saturday a regularly scheduled day. Sure, you'll get paid your overtime hours for it, but you will be working Saturdays for every bit that they can force you to work. You guys remember that meeting with Jim Hands where he said, hey, management screwed this whole thing up, but I'm here to fix it, beating his own chest, talking about how great he is. Said management messed this up, but if we can just get you guys to do 2 on, 1 off for the first quarter, then we'll have this fixed. And you know what? There's still a lot of you guys that are on 2 on, 1 off mandatories. And you know what? It's well past the first quarter. This is their plan. They want to work you until you pass out and then replace you with the cheapest replacements they can find. They don't care about you. Don't buy for 1 second that they do with any of these emails or anything they're sending out. They don't care. Now, in addition to that, not only are they fully intending on making Saturday a regularly scheduled day to the extent that they're allowed to, now if you don't work Saturday, if you're not able to, you have something come up, you have to cover it with your earned time off. And that brings up the whole other deal of the earned time off. Like, you lose the right to sell your time back at 160% if you save your sick time. And I know our union leadership tried to say, nobody does that. Hardly anybody does that. It's not true. There's a lot of people that do it. I know people that do it. So that is another loss that our union leadership tried to spin as a gain. Not only that, they changed the wording in how the ETO is figured based on seniority and not years of service. union leadership tried to spin that as, oh, well, we had to do something to protect our union members because it's not fair. That doesn't give union members anything extra. It does not give us anything more. All it does is take away from people who went to an area out here that wasn't IAM represented and then came back. Now they're going to take a loss. Current IAM members will take a loss because union leadership let that change happen, and they tried to sell it to you as an improvement. It is not. Now, for those of you who say, well, no, the company doesn't intend on you working every Saturday like that, the email that the company just put out about how much money you're going to lose if you go on strike. Well, guess what? They figured Saturday overtime for every week in that 2 months that they showed. Every week. That seems a little suspicious that they would figure that in how much money you're going to lose, because that makes the assumption that you'll be working every Saturday, because that's their intent. The company wants you to accept this contract for what it is. They're trying to sell it with this $7,500 ratification bonus. As you know, $2,500 of that is in cash, $5,000 is in stocks. And there are so many ways they can manipulate that stock price and the way they pay that out. It will be to their benefit, not yours, I promise you. In addition to that, understand they're threatening to take that away in these emails so they're sending out. Oh, well, if you don't ratify this, then we'll take that $7,500 away. That's okay. That's okay. Let them take it, because you do not want to take a ratification bonus or a signing bonus in lieu of better pay. If you say, keep that bonus, $7,500, it's not really $7,500, but let's say it is. Tell them, keep that bonus, and you get a $2 an hour increase in pay. $2 an hour increase in pay over the 4 years of the life of this contract. Over the 4 years of the life of this contract, if you work nothing but your 40 a week, is over $16,000. Do not let them shortchange you in the long run for a little cash in the here and now. You don't need it that badly. You can put it off. Don't be sold out in the long run. Don't give up that much money in the long run for a very small payout. They have underpaid us and underappreciated us for 13 years. Now, I haven't been out there for the full 13 years, but a lot of you have. You guys know way better than I do that we have been underpaid and underappreciated, overworked. You remember what it was like back in 2019 before the shutdown, before the planes went down, and before COVID hit. And underpaid is where they want you to stay. Because if you're underpaid, you can never get ahead, which is why a lot of people are worried that they can't afford to strike. They don't have the money set aside because they don't make enough money to put aside. They don't make enough money to meet all of their requirements every month and put some money aside. And that is exactly where the company wants you at. They want you to make enough money to pay your bills, have a few little nice things, but not enough to really get ahead. Because if you can stay just broke enough that you have to keep coming to work and accepting whatever they give you, then they can give you whatever they want. They can take whatever they want. And that's what they're trying to do. A little at a time. Take a little more. Take a little more. Change this. Increase that cost on the insurance. They want to keep you just broke enough that you will be desperate enough to accept whatever they offer. And don't let them do that to you. Remember, if you cannot afford to strike, then you can't afford not to strike. I'll see you on the line.